You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, GH fans, it is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about two things, sweeps and lunatic Heather Weber. She just busted out Esme Prince to Laura Spencer, hoping that the mayor will get the PCPD to arrest her daughter. I don't think it's going to go as Heather hoped, and that might lead her to take drastic actions. Is Sweeps about to be a bloodbath? Let's unpack it, but first, please click subscribe if you haven't already. So Esme told her mom, Heather Weber, that her memories are back, and her hook killer mama advised her, keep this to yourself. Don't tell anyone else or you're going to be in prison. That was a couple weeks ago. Heather wanted Esme to stay free so she could live her best life, raise her grandbaby Ace Cassadine, and live up to her potential. But now Heather changed her tune. Once Esme came and told her Nikolas Cassadine kidnapped Ace, Heather isn't too concerned about keeping Esme's secret. As far as she's concerned, Nikolas can have the kid and Heather can have her kid, Esme. On the most recent episode, Heather spilled the piping hot tea to Laura Spencer. She told her not only did Esme come and tell her about the kidnapping, but said her daughter's memories have been back since Christmas Eve. When Laura said, why would you betray your daughter like that? Heather makes it very clear. She wants Esme arrested, convicted, and tossed into Pentonville with her. I mean, that way they can have quality mother-daughter bonding time. Seems sane, right? Heather didn't get to be there while Esme was growing up. She said she was protecting her, but Heather can certainly be there for her daughter while she's serving, 5 or so years for revenge porn, manufacturing evidence, and other crimes. It's pretty twisted that Heather doesn't mind the idea of her daughter being in prison if it means they can be together. And in case the whole truth wasn't enough, Heather iced the cake and manipulated Laura into taking action. Heather told Laura she knows Esme is going to target Trina Robinson and Spencer Cassadine, right? The thing is, Trina and Spencer are headed to Paris, so they should be fine. We'll see, but Sweeps does promise some danger in that regard. They are in Europe by Friday, but of course, Laura's still very concerned, as she should be, because Esme just conked her uncle Kevin Collins over the head, knocked him out while he was trying to be nice to her, By Friday, Laura shares her regrets with someone. I do expect February Sweeps is going to have Esme hiding out on the run, trying to find her baby Ace and avoiding accountability for her past crimes. She was not specifically mentioned in the February Sweeps, but danger surrounding Trina and Spencer was. So if Laura doesn't get Esme arrested or the cops can't find her to arrest her, I suspect Heather Weber may lose patience and break out of Pentonville. There's really no downside to her escaping. I am certain that she is serving life behind bars for the hook killings. And remember, she used to break out of prison before and go get a BLT at Kelly's, So she knows how to get out. And do you happen to recall the victims of the hook kills? They were all people that were in Esme's way or had caused problems for her. Britt died trying to save Jocelyn from Heather. Britt actually wasn't a target, if you remember. So if Heather breaks out, it's not a big deal to her for her to be caught later. It's not like the cops can catch her and make her sentence more than life. She's definitely supposed to be behind bars until she dies. I just wonder if Heather's going to break out in Sweeps and thin the herd around town while looking for her daughter. That way, she and Esme can either run off together or they can get caught together and be behind bars enjoying quality mother-daughter time like Heather planned when she called Laura out to see her. Anytime on General Hospital that there's a serial killer on the loose, generally a few randos die, but then they also use killing sprees to thin the herd now and then. I mean, there are so many people in town right now. The character canvas is too crowded. So I just wonder who might be targeted if Heather is indeed on a killing spree soon. I'm going to drop one name and I don't want you to freak. This is not somebody that would be in Esme's way, but Heather may kill people that could expose her or just to keep them quiet. You know, she is a serial killer. She's a sociopath. So the reason I mentioned this particular name is because their situation reminds me of the last person Heather killed as the hook. Of course, the last person she attacked was Austin Gatlin Holt. He survived only to die another day. But the last person she killed was Britt. And if you recall, Britt was facing an agonizingly slow death from Huntington's disease. She'd already turned symptomatic and knew that her progression was going to begin soon. She was having tremors and other neurological symptoms, but then the hook got her and put her out of her misery, basically. So I'm kind of worried General Hospital might do something like that with Gregory Chase. He's facing an ALS death sentence, which is not a rapid one. If we're going by real medical science, Gregory should have a couple of years of life left, and it's not going to be quality time. He's going to degenerate. His quality of life is going to degenerate until he dies an untimely death. I cannot imagine GH is going to show the whole range of this disease up until death because it's lengthy, right? They usually play with faster moving diseases. So for that reason alone, I just wonder if he might get in Heather's way if she decides to break out to find her daughter. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want anything to happen to Gregory, but like I said, his prognosis and just kind of reminds me of the Britt thing. And it was terrible for Britt to die that way, but she also didn't want to die in misery from Huntington's. So I can think of a few characters, though, I wouldn't mind seeing exited from GH if Heather Weber starts hooking again. I'm going to name a few names, and I hope I don't upset you if there's a favorite of yours on my short list. So just off the bat, if Austin wasn't dead, I'd put him at the top of Heather's to kill list. Love me some Roger Howarth. Dr. Gatlin Holt, not so much. The same thing for his creepy cousin, Mason Gatlin. Maybe Heather can get to him in the prison cafeteria and take out the trash before she breaks out. And speaking of Austin and Mason, wouldn't it be a public service for all of Port Charles if Heather wipes out Cyrus Renault? I would be totally down for that. I know there are probably people out there hoping Nina or Carly would be a victim, but you know, I don't see GH taking them off the character canvas, not when they've got them primed to go to war. Also, if Cyrus dies, I don't know if they'll look to Heather or they would look to Sonny, which would be kind of interesting if they killed it. I did see a leak that I didn't give any credence to that said Cyrus may be shot. Heather's not really a gun girl. If Heather did take out Cyrus, I would think it would be something a little more hands-on. So also, just to be clear, and you probably know this if you listen regularly, I'm not a huge Finn fan. I know some of you guys are. I would be okay if Heather hooked Finn and then they resurrected Michael Easton as a fifth character. I really like Michael Easton. It's not that I don't like him. I'm not a big Finn fan. I like Silas Clay a lot better. He's also been John McBain, Caleb Morley, and now Dr. Hammy Finn. So why not bring him back as a bad guy? Maybe a new mobster, something fun. No more mild-mannered doctors for him. He plays dark really well. I doubt that'll happen. And as I said, I don't want Michael Easton gone. I adore him. So be sure to drop your names of who you would like to see Heather take out if she's running amok on a February Sweeps murder spree and thinning the herd of the many, many, many characters in Port Charles. Hey, drop your comments. Please subscribe and come back soon. As always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.